today was quite eventful. Governor Nikki Haley, the current South Carolina governor, for those who are unfamiliar with her and South Carolina politics, endorsed Marco Rubio for president. Now, what's interesting about this endorsement is that it follows reports that Rubio's rival, Jeb Bush, I guess former mentor, sought Haley's endorsement like a wild animal. Was just, he wanted it so badly, and it didn't come to him at all. So there are a couple of things to take away from this, and obviously the way people are positioning it, this is mainly being done to bolster Rubio's chances of winning in South Carolina. But you know, I'm not going to go and pretend as if I know what people over there think, or that anything I say is factual. I'm going to speculate, however, that if he does win, it won't be due to this endorsement. And I really dislike saying that because I actually like Nikki Haley. But I'm just going back to when the current governor of Iowa, who had complete opposition to Cruz, basically said, don't vote for him, vote for anybody but him. And what happened over there? Oh, that's right, Cruz won. So in remembering that, and sort of going off of the tone that has been set this entire election season, which is that being politically incorrect, or being the reverse of what you might think the preconceived normal person would want, is good. That's why you've had Trump leading for months and months and months, and individuals such as myself not believing him to actually be a serious candidate, sort of taking his candidacy as a joke up until we got to the actual voting states, and you know, judging pundits as factual when they erroneously, if I'm using that word properly, said he would drop out of the race in the months prior to this one, which has been so eventful compared to everything before now that it's great to finally be getting these votes in. I'm not trying to get too off topic, but there's also a few other things to take away from this endorsement. One is that Haley's endorsement is not the only one Rubio has acquired over the course of the campaign in South Carolina. Now, it's even more interesting to me because Trey Gowdy, the congressman representative on during the Benghazi hearings, who, you know, if that you know, 8, 9, 10 hour hearing was a film, he would have been the star. That was completely, he was at the forefront of it. That's the best way to put it, without turning this into something political or giving my commentary on it in a negative way. Which, you know, there was nothing negative about it on his angle, as far as the questions he asked, and just I get that it's political in its nature, so we're not even going to get into that. But his endorsement was a couple of months ago, and the only thing I'm noticing now is that Rubio's endorsements are very similar to, if there was a state, I'd probably say Cruz in Iowa. I keep comparing those, and I'd almost want to say that I believe he can win. And again, he could. I have no crystal ball that's telling me who's going to be the victor, but I don't see him doing that based on all of these polls. And I know people will say, oh, the polls aren't accurate. The last one before Iowa said Trump was in front of Cruz. Okay, but the ones before that said Cruz was in front of Trump, and that was a month before the actual voting took place. So what I'm really getting at is, even if you have polls that in advance say this person won't win, in advance this person has no chance, they need to get out, it still doesn't matter, because until election day we do not know the actual results or facts of the case. And again, I say this kind of biting my tongue, that I just did it right now. Haley, and I looked at the camera, that Haley's endorsement doesn't matter. I think it matters to an extent, but really ask yourself how many people vote by their governor. If Jerry Brown, the current governor of my state, California, said, "Hey, everybody go vote for Hillary Clinton," which I think he has endorsed her. I'm not too sure. If he said that, and I'm in the state, that doesn't mean I'm going to support her. I'm not going to base my vote around what another person tells me to do. I kind of view myself as my own individual. And there are, I think, some people who will feel more inclined to change their opinion based on the influence of another person. I had a Rubio supporter come on one of the videos I made about him and actually defend his record, which I didn't attack, but whatever. Kind of speak positively about him, and because of that, my opinion on him changed. And now him and Cruz are the main ones I want to see become the nominee. Kasich was in there too, but I think he has no chance. We're speaking realistically. So I'm bringing her up as an example of the fact that people can influence others' opinions. And you would think the governor would have a tremendous influence on these South Carolinians, as they are dubbed. I have a hard time with these names of like Californians, and I think for Los Angeles it's Angelinos. All of those different terms I mess up on, but whatever. So bottom line is that I don't think the endorsement will deliver. Rubio, if he wins, it will be primarily due to the effectiveness of his campaign and the candidate himself. Haley play a role in that as well, but I think it just comes down to the fact that we have to look at who the candidate is. And you would think that in a state that apparently loves George W. Bush, that Jeb Bush would be doing better, and you'd be surprised by that if you look at these polls, especially the one that came out today where he's actually falling behind every single other person in the race. So that includes Carson, who I thought was just done. I thought he was over. I thought his day in the limelight had subsided. That was gone. That was finished. And that pretty much has been finished since September. But you still have his supporters who have this idea that he'll make something of himself somehow. I don't know where they're getting that idea from, but whatever. So I've gone on for long enough. I hope everybody has a good day. I hope on Saturday, even though it's not the last video I intend to make before then, I really hope on Saturday that conservatives, moderates, all members of the Republican Party come together behind a candidate who is able to defeat Trump and who realistically can win the presidency. And that is both Cruz and Rubio. I will not pick one over the other just because I honestly believe both have a genuine chance at winning. Maybe Rubio a little bit more, but when it comes down to it, they both have some chance of winning. Honestly, I prefer either one over Trump. So I'm finished. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace out.